The Royal Visit. It was the Great Depression that shaped our way of life in Catamount, and the war that changed it. Just before the war began, we had a royal visit from King George V and Queen Elizabeth. Mom woke Don and me very early one morning, and we dressed in our Wolf Club uniforms. With our shoes polished and washed behind the ears, we joined our Wolfpack leader, Mrs. Coppinger. Along with the Brownies, Girl Guides, Boy Scouts, and other groups and bands, we headed to the station to board the longest blue flea I ever saw. Some of the coaches must have come out of the archives. Even with the Mountain Park and Luscar contingents aboard, there was still room on the train until we stopped at Merkhole and Coalspur, while the Lovett Line group joined us. From there on, we picked up small groups on the way to Edson, and once in Edson, all we had to do was line up in our positions and stay there until the King and Queen arrived. We were on the west side of the station where you could see the tracks going endlessly in a straight line to the east. It seemed like an eternity before you could see the smoke in the train. A number of us had seen the train about 9 or 10 times before it really did come into sight. The big locomotive hissed by us, slowing down until the observation coach was directly across from us. A minute went by, nothing. The bands were playing, and we were all cheering enthusiastically. Finally, the door opened, and the King and Queen stepped out onto the observation deck. They waved to their loyal subjects for about 1.5 to 2 minutes, and then the train started to move again. I'm sure no more than 15 minutes passed from the time the train stopped to the moment it continued on its way. I don't know how many of the east side of the station even got to see them. The whole production reminded me of Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing. It was another hour or so before we boarded the train to go home. I don't think anybody was exhilarated by the royal visit, although there was an air of excitement. I guess it was the gathering together of the clans. It seemed like a whole day of waiting for the moment, and the washrooms.